Welcome to my boyfriend's Rants. Adolfo is literally in my fucking face right now, breathing my air.
That's because we have a budget and we have one fucking mic, right? So it's gonna be a while until we get some money. We'll get it. And you're in a bad fucking mood today.
I'm not
You're
in
terrible.
a bad mood.
You're unbearable today.
Very emotional.
You're unbearable. Today's a challenge. As fucking Dr. Phil would say, or Maury fucking Povich, you're a challenge today. God damn. You're pain in the ass today.
You're not getting laid tonight. Anyways, we have a very, I think, interesting topic today. What's the name of this topic?
It's the fuck buddy. The fuck buddy.
The fuck buddy. We all know when we all had one.
When we had one, when you should have one, when you shouldn't have one.
I've never had one. I've never had
What's
sex before you.
That's a great answer. I'm gonna fucking dive into that with you right now.
So there's a situation.
Ask a what the fuck question. How many did you have? What the fuck? No.
No.
All right. So explain how we got into this topic today.
I'm not gonna go into detail, but I know someone that has a fuck buddy. Well, I think everyone we know has a fuck buddy that's single. Even the assholes that aren't single.
We need fuck buddies. So if you're looking for a fuck buddy, email us at.
I swear to fucking God, do you want to become a swinger and you only talk about it when we're on the podcast? Babe.
What best way to come out than live, baby? Recorded for the world to hear. No, I'm joking. Yo, keep continue. So, how did we come up with this topic?
It just, oh my God, I drew a blank.
That we all know someone who has a fuck buddy.
Well, yeah, we all know someone. I'm sure you've had plenty. We talked about your 2 a.m. booty calls.
I can't confirm or deny that.
I think the problem lies when there's nothing wrong with two consenting adults calling each other at 2 o'clock in the morning and it's strictly just for sex and you guys can leave it at that. But when one becomes more emotionally invested than the other and the other one can't put the brakes on it, like how do you handle that, right? There's always that one person that has to go and fuck everything up and get emotionally invested when it wasn't supposed to be like that from the beginning. And then what do you think? You guys are just gonna like, it's gonna be like straight out of a movie and you guys are gonna end up together and live happily ever after? When the guy or girl on the other side, the other party wants nothing to do with you besides ass.
You know when we see stupid ass like Meg Ryan movies or Hitch with Will Smith and it's all a fantasy? It's like that in a way. But the problem with the
You are so close to my face.
Back off, dog.
I wish there was a video camera right now. It's okay.
You're right, because some people emotionally invest more than the other one. Mm-hmm. So what tends to happen is one person develops feelings, and I'm not saying in all cases, no, actually maybe 50-50, women and men. You know, because there's men who just bitch ass men, and then they fuck once, and that's it. They're in love. And
are there really guys out there like that?
And they cling on, and there's also women who do the same thing. But I would say since women are more emotionally vulnerable than men in some circumstances, not all, some circumstances, or. Yeah, it's unfair to say all women make emotional decisions. But no, I mean, but they are somewhat more emotional.
I would say a woman could be more ruthless than a man. Maybe
ruthless, but also more emotional due to like just the hormones, just the way the chemistry is different between a man and a woman. You know, literally chemistry. You know, like.
You'd be surprised though, because I know some women that honestly can just really not care.
Yeah, but there's things that women are drawn to, like fucking, you know. Like in the movie Hitch, you know, like a Jennifer Aniston movie. There's shit that just they're generally drawn to their emotions, to their psyche. Like for instance, before you interrupt,
I wasn't gonna interrupt you.
When you look at an attractive man per se, you also take in consideration his personality, how tender he may be, how sensual he may be. You take all these things into account. It's just not physical, it's not visceral. As for a man, initially, it's way more visceral. You understand?
But it's the same for a woman when it comes down to fuck buddies. Like, we're not looking to marry the guy.
No,
could be visceral.
It could be visceral, yes, but you know, I'm not saying all women, but you get to know the person if you do it long enough. You develop, first of all, a certain comfort level, which women look for a comfort level, whether it's a folk buddy or not. You know, I think for men, the comfort level is like secondary, just to like the to the visceral part of it.
Is it really? Because I feel like it's not. I think the guy might take advantage of the fact that he is so comfortable with it and just let shit go and not draw that line in the sand to be like, hey, stop, this isn't the way that it goes. Okay, the problem here is when one gets emotionally invested and the other one isn't, but yet the party that isn't emotionally invested likes to play the role of the significant other, but then wants to fuck around and then gets upset that the other one gets upset, the one that's emotionally involved gets upset if the other party sees someone else or tries to date. I hope you guys follow along.
Hold on, fucking Quentin Tarantino movie. You're breaking this shit up. What?
I'm having a hard time. The party that isn't interested,
okay, I got
allows the one that is interested to do stupid shit or kind of leads them to believe that there could be something there, and I think that's pretty douchey or pretty asshole. But because you guys have fucked so many times and you are comfortable and there's kind of nothing else around, you allow it, and I think that's fucked up. I hope I'm making sense.
No, you're not. But do you remember the Jodi Arias trial? For all you listeners out there, let me give you a breakdown of Jodi Arias, because this is fascinating. And this happens more often than not, except for the fucking heinous Saw-like murder that happened at the end. But besides that tidbit of fact, it happens all the time. Okay? Jodi Arias was a fucking 20-year-old hottie, a freak. I saw the trial and I saw her text messages. I was like, why not me, Jodi? Like, yeah, she's a fucking freak. You know, and there's guys out there like they're just like hitting with a thumbs up on that. She was a fucking freak. You have to see the movie; it's amazing. No, anyways,
was she hot in real life, or just the chick that played her in the movie?
She was hot because she was just a freak. You know, just like the fact that what she did and how she did it. Like, you know, like on trial.
Do I need to chase you with a fucking knife around the house?
No, not like that. That's crazy shit. But the part when they're reading, like,
did she kill him?
Where they have the defendant, not the defendant, it's like the jury, right? Like not the jury, like.
Clearly, he's not an attorney.
I'm not a fucking attorney. The cleric who would be documenting things on trial or reading statements on a trial. Who's that person?
I don't know, but we all know who he's talking about.
The lady with the bun, the librarian in the fucking trial. That hurt. She's like, and she wrote, "I'll go over and suck your dick," quote unquote. You know, the one very like fucking graphic text messages. Anyways, so Jodi Arias, young hot girl, she starts to see this guy at a youth group or something like that. He was studying to become a pastor, right? But he's like a hip pastor. He's the one with the leather jacket and the jeans, you know?
The one that fucks psychos.
Fucking preaching the word. And he had his own fucking crib, his own house, like everything. He had his own little business going. Jodi Arias gets with this guy. They start hooking up and playing cat and mouse, you know, her being like the mouse and the little, like vice versa. Anyways, it got to the point where she like you said, getting more emotionally invested in this guy, where she was hanging out the house to the point where she was answering the guy's door, you know, and the guy's friends were like, "What the fuck? Did she move in?" He's like, "Yeah, let me show you around the house," like that type, you know.
Oh,
anyways,
man.
Listen to this part.
Mm-hmm.
The pastor, I forgot the guy's name. I don't want to call him the pastor because it's happened not fairly recently, but whatever. The guy, he met someone else, and this person he had way more chemistry with. Like, it fit his personality, his mold. It was like exactly what he thought he was looking for, especially in his trajectory in life. He ends up, obviously, I think, going out or marrying this person, something like that, right? Jodi goes ape shit. Well, not regular ape shit, like ape shit. Like, she dyed her fucking hair. Like, she went crazy. She moved out. She couldn't handle that, you know. She tried to sabotage a relationship, I think. Anyways, fast forward, right? One night, many moons later, Jody sends this guy a text message from out of state, like, "Hey, you know, you DTF, right?" So he's like, "Fuck yeah, I'm DTF," and
That's down to fuck for those that don't know.
She rents a car, goes. She moved out of the state because she had to move out of the state to get away from this guy, like, you know, mentally.
Wow.
Yeah, here we go. Goes back, crosses state lines, rents a budget car or an Enterprise, one of these fucking things. Goes back, fucks the dude, has sex with him, right? Mm-hmm. He's in the shower, or they took pictures, like selfies while they were doing it too. Mm-hmm. Dirty, you know, the Snapchat and shits. She was doing that and the guy goes in the shower. I think he got. If someone fact check me, I'm always saying this shit because I don't read these fucking facts before I go on and talk, but. A text message came on his phone or something like that, implying it was the new girl, or the wife, or the girlfriend, or someone of that sort. She reads it, she gets mad, or she was just pissed off to begin with. The point is, she walked in the shower, stabbed him 27 times, and shot him in the head, and then ran away. And if you obviously
because stabbing him 27 times wasn't enough.
It was a crime of passion. When you're stabbing someone multiple times, is because this what they call a crime of passion. Like, there was emotion involved. There wasn't like a calculated killing. Mm-hmm. Okay, and she goes back to the police catcher, and then of course there's a long drawn out story behind it. She told the police that first she was assaulted by armed men who came in the room, and then she said it was self defense. She was getting raped, and then finally, you know, they came to the bottom of it, and they found out it was just an extremely jealous ex-girlfriend or booty call who killed him. Yeah.
That's scary, guys.
That's real.
So on that note,
fuck.
If you feel that person is a little bit more emotionally invested than you, and they might have a little bit of those traits,
buy a bulletproof vest. Huh?
Yeah, seriously.
No, but
sleep with one eye open.
No, but what happens too is if two parties mutually accept that they're just gonna have consensual sex and that's it. Look at me all fucking proper. Consensual sex. If they're gonna just fuck and that's it, then no one has the right to get mad at anyone.
They don't. But can I tell you something? Because women are at fault of this. A lot of women, what they'll do is that they'll tell the guy, "No, it's cool. I don't care." Stick around in hopes of that guy falling for them.
And the guy's supposed to be able to fucking mind reader? Like, I mean...
No, but when the chick is there playing fucking house, and it's almost like you two are together, it's like, where do you draw the line, right? Like, so, like, what are the rules and guidelines to fuck buddies? Again, I have no experience because I've never had sex with anyone but Adolfo, so I can't talk much about this. But... at what point stop looking at me like that?
Do you have a history or something? Do you want to complain about something else, like our last podcast that we couldn't disclose? It was a fucking show?
We do have another podcast that I'm not yet ready to put out yet. You guys will learn a little bit more about me that I'm not willing to share with the world yet.
The guy... Well, sorry to interrupt you. We're fucking coming clean to the world. You know? And he was so hot, he had a giant dick. Yeah. Don't even fucking dare tell me that shit. No, the idea of a fuck buddy is exactly what it is. Is a person that you enjoy having sex with, and vice versa.
Now, do you hang out with that person besides having sex? Like, do you go have brunch with them? Like, do you call them up and it's like, "Hey, what are you doing? You want to go catch a movie?" And then you catch a movie, and then at some point you end up fucking that night? Or is it just, "Hey, I want to fuck," you fuck, and then you guys go about your separate ways?
Didn't Justin Timberlake?
I stop you?
Yeah, just a lot of fucks in there, like all fucks and pots. Didn't Justin Timberlake make a movie like that or something with that Milo, the chick from the '70s show?
Mila Kunis.
With Mila Kunis. It was called like Fuck Friends or something.
I think it was Friends with Benefits, but I can't remember. But I think they fell in love, right? It was one of those blockbuster movies where they fall in love.
It was one of those, like, you know, stupid ass movies.
And women think that happens in real life.
Well, what happens is. You're fucking with the mic here, sorry.
He's gonna walk away with the mic. I don't know where he's going or what he's doing. He's about to give it head. Stop jacking it off. Go.
Stop blowing the mic. It's funny. No, I lost my train of thought. That was funny. No,
We were talking about the movie, and I said that a lot of women feel that that's a possibility.
Well, that's my point. That eventually, first of all, I sincerely believe, for a woman, even to get a man as a fuck buddy, has to somewhat be, I guess, mentally attracted to him in some way. Like there's something, it has to be more than just physical to be. Of course, it can be purely physical, but there's got to be a little bit something more to it, because
I feel like I can talk better on that than you can, only because I have a vagina
this is
between my
my
legs.
fucking opinion. This is just my goddamn opinion, okay? Because hold on,
It's not true.
Hear me out on this. Hear me out. I'm not saying it's complete truth for every woman, right? But I can see it. You know, let me erase that thought. Women, like, they not that they do an emotional investment at first, but they're more vulnerable to an emotional investment later on. There we go. That's what I meant to say. That
Okay.
if they stick around long enough, I guess a woman has to have enough sense to know when her feelings get in the way or she gets jealous, because a woman can get just as jealous as a man, where, oh, you know, he's been fucking me all this time, and why does he want this other girl all of a sudden? You know, like, I lost that attention for a bit. It doesn't mean that she cares enough to, pursue it any longer. She could just cut it off. But I think that women can be a little bit more vulnerable to that, because for men, like, sex and sexuality and attraction, like, at least not attraction, but just sex in general, it's completely visceral. It's a completely physiological.
It's primal. I get it.
Primal,
but
yeah.
okay, the only time a woman would fall vulnerable to something like that is if you are the one that's calling her to go to brunch or to go watch a movie. If you keep it strictly, it's like 2:00 in the morning, I want to fuck, and we're just gonna sleep together, and that's it. That's the extent of our conversation. Then he's dying to say something.
When you get a call me, tell me that. Man. It's 2:00 and I'm down to fuck.
It's so stupid.
I'm just down to fuck.
No, but seriously, girls aren't. If you're only sleeping with the guy and that's the only communication that you two have is literally, hey, what are you doing? Down to fuck, and that's all you're doing, then that's it. That's as far as that goes. A woman is not going to be emotionally invested in that because there's nothing to invest in. Okay. Now, if you start hanging out as friends, or you start doing certain things, or you do have that comfortability where it's like you can tell that person something, then that's when I can see one, maybe more the woman than the man, leaning towards that, I think I kind of like him. And that's where everything goes to shit. So I feel like we should just let people know, if you're going to do someone and you're going to have a fuck buddy, don't have any more conversation than what you need to. And that's just pretty much
And for men, just get a prostitute. That's what they were invented for. Yeah, it's about the same price. So.
Does he say you pay for them to leave?
You pay for them to leave, exactly. No.
You
have a point there. There you have a perfect point. Maybe that was the point I was trying to get to, except I just fucking go around my goddamn story today. No, that as long as they keep it like that, very consensual, limited access to each other.
Hold on, we're gonna make it interesting right now because I have some wine in me. Tell them a story of one of your fuck buddies and maybe one of your experiences. I want to learn something new about you tonight with the rest of our listeners. By the way, I'm not the one to get jealous when he tells me stories. I mean, as long as he's not telling me how he had her legs like behind her head, I'm okay with it. But again, I've never had sex before. It's awful. I have to put that out there.
And that's grabbing Bradley hair and I was doing it. No. It's ridiculous. Well, look.
Do you have any stories of any chick being emotionally invested more than what you were? Seriously? Oh my god, I wish that we had a camera so you guys can see what the fuck he's doing with this microphone. Like, he takes it, it's like I'm talking and he like puts it across the table.
I'm like Axel, I want to go out a solo right now. Just go.
Okay, go. Your turn. God. We need another mic soon. Someone sponsor us, please, so we can afford one.
No, as far as stories and things like that, all I can say is the following.
Without incriminating yourself?
No. it's that it could happen to men or women. A man could get more. Could get. I said earlier that a woman tends to get more emotionally involved. Not that she tends to, just the reason being, I think that women, since they're more emotional in a lot of social circumstances or social situations, they tend to be more emotional, that they could fall for that a little bit easier. But I'm not saying that a man can't. A man can just as easily. There's plenty of men, especially young men, when you're coming into your own early 20s, where you fall for like a woman who's older or who's more experienced than you rather easier than you should. And then you learn your lessons. You get your bumps and bruises, and you go along. So I've been on both sides where I was young, and you think you fall for someone.
What's the cutoff age?
What's the cutoff age?
For men, because women mature faster than men, but what are the cutoff ages for
fucking
men?
At least fucking 34, you know?
Like if you haven't figured this shit out by that
fucking
age,
34,
like
bro,
you're
you know?
kind of screwed.
Yeah, because it happens to men too, and a lot of men won't admit it. It's either the first love or the second or teenage years, or it could happen at any age. Well, technically, it shouldn't happen at any age. You should learn, but experience does that, right? But when you get to an age and you're infatuated with somebody, and maybe to them you were just a person they were having fun with and they slept with, and because a fuck buddy can mean many things. It's not necessarily.
How many definitions does that word have?
Well, but think about it. If you're fucking 19 years old and you're in college, right, and the girl next door, the guy next door is there, and you're partying, you have too many drinks, and you fuck that night. Next weekend, you do the same thing. That's real. That happens.
But what category does that fall under?
That's a fuck buddy.
Uh-huh.
And you're just friends, and you flirt with each other, you hang out with each other, and that's something very real. And nothing's ever spoken. Now, where the guy would be an asshole would be like if he's leading the woman on, or the woman is leading the guy on, and they're saying things that are like not true. Oh, I never felt this way, or I love you, and this and that. In that case,
that's just a child.
Yeah.
That's an asshole, and that's a child.
Yeah, it's a fucking douchebag. But in that case, that's misleading and wrong, because now you're trying to play with someone's emotions and mislead them emotionally, misguide them, make them think that's just deception, right? But where there's two mutual people who agree to hang out and consent to have sex mutually, drinks or no drinks. Well, obviously, the fucking chick is passed out, fuck her, like you don't do anything, you don't do anything. But you know what I mean? Like you're in the scene, you're in the party scene, and you're doing that. I don't see anything wrong with it, like, because at the end of the day, there has to be personal responsibility. You have to hold yourself accountable, right? So if you fall for this person and she doesn't feel the same way back, then that you have to accept that. And loving means letting go, like letting go of that. Like, okay, that wasn't the person for me, and vice versa. It can't be like, oh, guys are assholes and they hurt the girl all the time because he couldn't like her back. Well, how can you can't force emotions out of a person that don't exist. Maybe it's not wrong to say that, hey, I just enjoy having sex with you, or enjoy some of your company.
And there's
sometimes.
nothing wrong with that, as long as it's established at the beginning and both parties know.
Yeah, as long as both parties know. Like that's the main key to like both parties are equally responsible for whatever happens.
Yeah, it's not okay to let one think that there could be a potential of being together, or you guys be together so much all the time where it's almost like obvious, and then one party says, I want nothing to do with it. So he's gonna go check on the chicken. I'm not one to just talk by myself, so I'm not sure what the fuck I'm supposed to do while he's checking to see if it's ready or if it's burned. Is it ready?
No.
Okay. Our dinner's not ready yet, guys.
Sponsored by BlueApron.com. Get delicious.
I wish it's
chicken.
not.
No, it's not. It's
Stop
not.
endorsing. We're not endorsed by anyone. I wish, guys. Seriously, can you make us popular enough where Blue Apron would want to give us a call?
But I wanted to touch on one thing though. Like,
what?
So back to the Jodi Arias thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're a guy or a girl, especially a girl, man, because it happens where they break up with a guy. It happened to you where you told me
Then I went completely psychotic?
On a guy?
No.
What the fuck?
No, I
Okay.
haven't.
No. On where there's a person who liked you, you entertained it for a bit, you went out maybe on a couple dates, and then you found out it wasn't for you, but they kept insisting, persisting to the point where they started stalking and, knocking on your door.
Yeah,
That type
had
of
some
uncomfortable shit.
weirdos.
Yeah.
I've had some weirdos try to pursue me.
Okay.
I'm like a magnet for them.
It's fucked up, right? I wonder. No, but so if you're a guy, it's the same thing. Like, there's people who are just psychologically unstable when it comes to that, or emotionally immature, where you have to be careful. Like the Jodi Arias situation, where you have to know when to pump the brakes. Now that's an extreme situation, like where someone got murdered, but you have to know when to call it. When, like, the other person's, you see that they're emotionally unstable, like, or they're getting too, like, for instance, they got you an extravagant fucking birthday gift, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be a sign right there. Where if you don't feel the same way back, you have to know when to cut it and be like, because from there you can't go to ever being.
Not even an extravagant birthday gift. Like,
Well,
it's not even that I get. It's going completely psychotic at the thought of you being with someone else. Like that alone is the tale of all tales.
Yes, that too.
Sir or ma'am, you need to walk away.
No, that too. Of course, like you say, it doesn't have to be that extravagant. That too, but I'm just giving examples of things that could be. Like I'm giving like small examples, like extravagant gifts. You see the person's really going out of their way to doing something, or they get extremely jealous, like those things like that, of course. But you have to know when to cut it off, like nicely, to call it quits. Like, hey, you know what, this isn't working out. Like, nip it at the butt. Don't let it proceed. Because a lot of things that I think guys do, in my personal experience, I've done, is
You've done?
yeah,
Ooh.
where
Uh-oh.
okay,
Where are we going?
Where you feel bad about hurting someone's feelings, so you don't
You felt bad about hurting a girl's feelings?
Yeah, so you don't cut the relationship, or you delay it, longer. Not like where you're going out or anything like that, but mostly when you're like a fuck buddy type of thing, and you're hanging out.
But were you hanging out with your fuck buddies outside of bed?
Yeah, because there was a point where with one particular girl, like, I would hang out with, and we would quasi date.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. Like, we would hold hands and fuck, but it wasn't. Like,
So
it was
then
completely on and off.
why would you?
You know?
But is that a fuck buddy then? Guys, if you have any descriptions as to what a fuck buddy would be, I would absolutely love to hear it, because what he just described doesn't sound like a fuck buddy to me. Like, if I'm fucking someone just to, like, do it
You're fucking
and
no
be
one.
to just do it, I'm not gonna hang out with that person. I'm not gonna hold hands with that person. I'm not going out in public with that person. Like, that's for someone that I want to date or potentially get to know. Why would you take someone that you have no interest in that way, like, and go hold hands in public?
Because there's men and women who just like the idea of affection. Like, they want affection at that immediate moment. They want to bond with someone. They want to,
But of course, someone's gonna get emotionally invested like that.
Yes, it's a possibility, but it doesn't mean it. So, because it could be, for instance, here's a good example, right? It's happened to me. Let's say you travel a lot, or you're stationed overseas, right? And then you come back, I'm serious, and you come back on leave once in a while, you go to town for a business trip once in a while, and there's a person you really enjoy spending your time with, you're really attracted to, but it's not going to go anywhere because of your lifestyles. So you hook up, you do your thing, go on a date, and you romance, you sleep together, and then you go your separate ways,
I don't know, I can't wrap my head around that.
Well, it's not for everyone, but it happens.
That mental fuck.
It's
I just want the physical, not the mental.
Get the physical. No, it's not for everyone. It's not a lifestyle for everyone, but it is a lifestyle. You don't have to, by default, sleep with someone and it has to be your boyfriend or girlfriend. No, you can have
No, I'm not
consensual
saying that
sex.
either. Yes, you can have consensual sex. Like, I'm not against
God
that.
damn, you fucking Puritan. Huh? Fucking, you a Quaker? God damn. Let people fuck. They just want to fuck.
That's fine. I'm saying, like, screw each other's brains out. But when you start acting like you're a couple, but then don't want to claim it or say that you don't want to be with that person, like, and then that's what I'm saying. You have to draw that line in the sand. Like, you have to set your ground rules, and you just have to be honest from the beginning. Be like, hey, listen, I enjoy your company. I enjoy your time. I enjoy screwing you. But it's not going to go anything, like, it's not going to go any further than that. And if everyone's on the same page, and ladies, please, if a man tells you that, hold him to that. Don't think that this is going to be like one of those, what is it, Meg Ryan movies? I don't know. I'm like the worst chick ever because I really don't watch love-sappy movies.
We saw that bullshit Hitch movie the other day.
I didn't put that on.
Who put that shit on?
I don't know. I wasn't even the one to put that on.
Hey, the guy has a monologue for every scene.
Watch it.
He has a monologue for every scene. You know?
Well,
He's such a fucking, what an asshole. Whatever.
why are you hating on Will Smith?
Because it's a bullshit. Whatever. Anyway.
Whatever. You think that a real life situation is gonna sell in the theaters? Especially the way that people date nowadays, like swiping on fucking Tinder.
The problem
You
is
think that's gonna win them an award?
well, because a lot of people live in a fantasy world. Like when you go to a movie, like there's guys that play out like fight scenes in their head. They're like, I'm gonna walk in, you know, the fucking blue martini. This guy's gonna say something. I'm gonna uppercut him.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna,
god, how old are they though? Like 15?
I don't know, but there's people who fantasize like that in their heads. They go into a fucking movie, they see a 10-foot screen, Tom Cruise or Will Smith saying the perfect monologue, the perfect words. You're drawn to that. Oh, and there's music in the background playing. So people are drawn to. That's why we're drawn to fucking movies, because it's an expression of. It's narcissistic. It's an expression of ourselves. You know, it's like the best of ourselves. Oh, that's like the most beautiful, the most perfect. So there's guys who are delusional and they think, you know, there's country songs about it. Well, she left me. I'm gonna go put my fucking high beams in her window while she's with her, you know, like with her new boyfriend.
God, what songs are you listening to?
There's all country songs are about that shit.
No,
about
not
the
all
truck,
country
about the
songs.
beers, about.
Well, trucks and beers, yes.
The chick left me. Anyways, so there's guys out there who are like super persistent.
By the way, Luke Bryan's so hot.
What the fuck ever. Where guys are so persistent where they don't get the message, and they're sending flowers because they saw Gerald Butler get dumped by Jennifer Aniston, but he looked cool doing it 10 times. At the end, they fell in love. There's guys who believe that shit. So movies have power. Music has power. They make you feel a certain way. They make you think a certain way. They inspire ideas. So
Why is this world full of such assholes? You're an asshole to have to believe that.
To
or
believe
to really
what?
think your life is like a fucking movie.
Well, I mean, you could use like something. You could take something positive out of it, like, you know, be the hero in your own movie, type of thing. Have you heard this? You know, this philosophy.
Yeah. What school counselor did you see that like on their wall? Like, you know those like inspirational posters. It's like
Yeah.
like the sunset, and then it says something stupid on the
Yeah.
bottom, like what you just said. I don't like them too much tonight, just by default. I don't know why.
All right, Wednesday from the Addams Family. You're so morbid. Fuck. God damn. Huh?
I'm sorry,
All right,
baby. I love you.
All right, Stephen King. The
I love
fuck?
you.
God damn. The point
I'm
is,
just poking fun at
the
you.
point is, people get inspired by they have ridiculous ideas and notions in their head about, you know, things that are not real or exaggerated beliefs about reality.
And just to kind of piggyback off of that, and it has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but how you said perception is reality, and people try to portray the certain lifestyle or the certain way of being. Can you assholes please stop putting the stupid shit on Instagram? Because the things not necessarily like our listeners, but people on Instagram try to like live these lifestyles that they really don't live. You know what I'm talking about? Like, he just started getting on Instagram, so now it's
I
like
know
he's-
exactly who you're talking about. Muse Skin, Herbalife, and you know.
Well,
and-
yeah, because that I did it, but that's for that reason. But it was
For
because I
marketing.
was pushing a product, right? But when people aren't pushing a product and this is just real life, Do you understand what I'm saying? Like your life isn't that luxurious. Like I don't get it.
Well,
That's another topic for another night. I don't want to digress into this. Like
well, no,
this
well,
isn't
because-
what we were touching on.
well, you know why people do it? Well, because it's a platform now, and everyone wants to be their own celebrity. You know, before you have to catch a ball or sing or do something. Now, if you just post enough pictures or you're pretty enough or whatever the case may be, you become your own celebrity. And again, we're social creatures. We feed off that shit, whether we admit it or not. I don't give a fuck. Like, there's a reason all women put on makeup. There's a reason a lot of men, you know, try to compensate for their ego in different ways, whether it be a car, whether it be the muscles, whether it be whatever.
I saw this video that was actually pretty awesome and it was pretty powerful, that it showed kind of like that vicious cycle where this chick is literally laying in bed with her boyfriend. I think he's like knocked the fuck out. They're barely touching each other, like on separate sides of the bed. She's going through Instagram or some sort of social media and she sees like this one chick looking like super cute or whatever, right? So you see her, like the picture itself is gloomy, her real life, right? Then she takes a picture, she makes herself look cute, puts like all these sorts of different filters, and you look at the end picture and it's like nothing in comparison to what she's really living at the moment. So she'll post it. Then the next person sees that post and they're sitting like at work, right? And they're fucking miserable, but then they see that picture and they're like, oh fuck, let me position things a certain way, right? They take a picture and it makes it look like they're living this luxurious lifestyle. They're like in a different situation than what they're actually in, or they're actually enjoying what they're doing. But you see the actual picture, not the picture they posted, but their real life, and it's like gloomy like bullshit. It's like you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? But you're keeping up with this Instagram image. And at the end of the day, it's like everyone's just trying to impress the next person because who's got the prettier filter, or who's got the prettier picture, or who's living the like cooler lifestyle. When at the end of the day, you're really not fucking living it. It's a lie.
Well, because that's because our society promotes everything but humility and being humble.
Mm-hmm.
Like everything's about being a consumer, buying, get more. In order to get more, you need more. So you promote what? We're needing more money, right? So the American dream, capitalism, money. Not that I'm a fucking communist, by the way, you know, but you know, so it's something that's embedded in you since you're a kid. Succeed, win, achieve, get. So that's why people do that too. It's status.
I think we need to break that cycle.
Look at the psychology. It happens to every fucking guy. And email me if I'm wrong. Okay, you're wearing we're not. Email me. Wait, hold on. You wear a t-shirt and jeans, or t-shirt and shorts, whatever. If you're okay, you're cool, you're like a guy. But if you put on a suit or a tuxedo where you're like, damn, I look good, like something changes in you. You feel something different just on the clothes you wear. Whether it's vain, whether it's egotistical, narcissistic, I don't know. But that's something that's innate and we all experience, and we don't tend to talk about it enough. And that'll be the next topic.
Yeah, seriously, because we started with fuck buddies and ended up talking about real life. How depressing. Jeez.
And on that note, if you have any questions, concerns, comments, or we want to do a Fuck Buddies Part 2, because you guys have some questions, some scenarios, you can email us at
myboyfriendsrants@gmail.com. And we also are on Podbean. Wow. We're on something else other than YouTube, although you can definitely catch us on YouTube. We're on Podbean now, My Boyfriend's Rants. And if either one of us can figure out how to get on iTunes, that would be fucking amazing. If anyone wants to share how to do that, that would be great. Although we have Google, but still.
and share our shit like syphilis. Spread it out.
Ew.
All right. Well, thank you for listening, and we are out.
Good night.